Hey kids, this is Aaron from the podcast that wouldn't die, and Kevin and I use Zencastr. You think you're better than us, that you're using something else? You're wrong. Zencastr's the place to be. Who are you to deny it?
It's now super easy to record a podcast with Zencastr. Log in using your browser and start recording a high-quality podcast right away. Record studio-quality sound and up to 4K video with your guests. Go to zencastr.com/pricing and use our code DIEHARD and you'll get 30% off your first month of any Zencastr paid plan. We want you to have the same experiences we do for all our podcasting and content needs. It's time for you to share your story.
Only a fool would give up a chance for a 30% discount.
In 1936, a stranger came to Town Creek
We were told you were a historian.
on a quest for an ancient stone
They were here. Our ancestors. And all their gods.
that possessed the power of life
Bring her here to me.
and death.
When you rule the blood, death is no longer the end.
Welcome to the latest episode of the podcast that wouldn't die. I'm your host, Kevin. With me, as always, is Aaron.
How do?
This week, we're discussing the horror classic, Blood Creek, starring Henry Cavill, Michael Fassbender, and others. Most people have never seen
And
this
all
movie.
the rest.
This is a hidden, I was going to say hidden gem, but I don't know if that's correct. It's directed by Joel Schumacher. I mean, this is a real movie, but evidently
Is
no.
it? Is it really?
Unclear.
Really, it looks super cheap, but then I realized it's just fucking 4K TV. I'm never gonna get a 4K because it looks so weird.
It's not that. Okay, there's a setting.
What
on the
is it? Why does it look like a soap opera? Why does it look like it's on video?
There is a setting on.
The setting is make it shitty.
Yes, there's a setting
Shitty,
on.
not shitty.
There's a setting on all HD TVs that you can put it on where it kind of makes it look like it's filmed on video, like you said, like a soap opera. And people hate it, and I love it. I love it. It makes it look like
4K. It looks like it's full moon, direct to video, from video to video.
it's not just 4K. They have it on HD. Any HD TVs have this setting as well, and it's like called video scrubbing or something like that.
Video
remember what it's called.
scrubbing. Why is
Yeah.
that? First of all, that sounds like a warning. Warning, we're about to scrub your video. Doesn't that
I
mean
like it.
delete, erase, destroy? Destroy. We're going to destroy the video quality.
I admit my thing is strange. I put you can click a button called sports mode, and it does that, and that's what I like. I like it. I like to look like that.
Not
So,
cinematic, although calling this a cinematic feature feels like a lie.
it's each week on the podcast we discuss guilty pleasures and forgotten classics of the horror and sci-fi genres with a comedic twist. Aaron, what's the latest with you?
Spending money like it's just pouring out of me, like I got a gunshot wound, like an undead Nazi came after me, took a
For
chunk
reals.
out, and money is now just pouring forth. Now, when I say that, it's because mostly I'm spending stuff on myself because it's Black Friday.
I was gonna say Christmas shopping, but not Christmas shopping. Just buying.
I
stuff
was
for
like,
yourself.
that's it, I'm done. I finished my order and I sat down, gonna relax, and I realized I haven't bought gifts for anybody else. Our parents, my children. I'm like, I
It's a
ordered my
thing.
Christmas cards. I got some pants for my son. Oh shit!
Back to
Oh,
the drawing
shit.
board.
Back
Wah,
we
wah.
go.
Such is life. Such is life. No, we were in.
You don't want to spend all your money before the first actually has arrived. I get paid early for some, around the holidays. They always push our paycheck earlier,
Mhm.
and then I realized it's not even the first yet. I was like, oh
Right. No, on our vacation, we were up in Big Bear for the week, as you know, and Becky was just online doing all the Christmas shopping just to get it done. She's very organized. I was reading a book. So
Lordy.
yeah, good stuff. Good stuff had by all. We just celebrated Thanksgiving. This is probably coming out, I don't
Oh,
know,
did
Arbor
you?
Day. I know. I'm telling the
Who'd you
home
go? Who'd
audience.
you have it with?
With you among others, Aaron, if I'm being honest. We did a, what was it called? A casual, kick it casual Thanksgiving. Was that the
Kick it
theme?
casual, sweats or jammies. That I think, and yet very formal settings and centerpieces everywhere.
That is
Sarah
true.
can't help herself.
The
And
presentation,
charcuterie.
I mean, and she does a good job. It always looks really
Yeah, it
nice.
always looks amazing.
Yeah, totally. But I don't dislike the kick it casual. I was wearing my, you know, PJ bottoms and the whole thing. I was wearing a tank top, sleeveless tee, because that's how I kick it casual. What?
I almost said something too. I'm like, dude, do you just have a closet of sleeveless tees?
Yes, I do. I have a I have a closet of sleeveless tee. Now, traditionally, I don't wear them out of the house. They're just for me kicking it casual. But if you tell me this party's
That
kicking
doesn't sound
casual,
right. I feel like I see you in it. Do you work in the sleeveless tee? I mean,
well,
I
I also
feel like
record. I record in the
and
sleeveless tee
record.
oftentimes, but yes, I do not go to work in my sixth grade classroom wearing a sleeveless tee traditionally. So it is what it is. Good grief.
And here's my problem.
Please.
Southern California, Thanksgiving, 85 degrees.
Yes. Yes.
I immediately arrived from the frozen north and had to go to like Old Navy and buy a couple of t-shirts so I didn't boil my brain.
Well, along with the kick it casual, I dusted off my old Snuggie to wear, and it was 80 degrees, so I had to peel that thing off. I'm like, this isn't gonna work. So
This is
it is
not
what
going to
it is.
work.
I was sweating like a porker on Thanksgiving. Sweet Jesus.
Meanwhile, I get halfway home and there is whiteout fog. It literally went from 80 degrees and within an hour it was 48 degrees. I was like, oh shit.
You were going to Blood Creek, I think, at that point.
I was going to Blood Creek, the bloodiest. Less Nazis, though.
I beg to differ. Shall we jump right in? Why don't you give us your 30-second synopsis of Blood Creek?
Hitler and the occult. So the idea is that when Leif Erikson showed up, he brought a whole bunch of rune stones, like as ballast, and went into Middle America, dragged them into the Ohio River Valley, and set them up around in people's barns. And the Nazis know this, unsure, but Hitler was pretty sure he needed the help of the occult. Some might say he was already working with the Dark Lord, as it was, to channel the power of the rune stones. You think you could just go to the Norway, like there'd be rune stones there, or did they take them all from the north and bring them to America? Well, that's not covered. To harness that, they need to harness the power, to help the Third Reich reign supreme.
There were questions.
Didn't really work out. Didn't work out.
There are questions, but I want to go back because I'm the one who suggested Blood Creek, and no one on earth has evidently heard of this movie.
No. It doesn't look like a comic book from a fevered boy's brain.
And maybe
little known fact, Nazis were really fun in the 70s. In the early 70s, there were Time Life series about the Nazis. Boys love Nazis. It was not unheard of for people to doodle swastikas on their bicycles like you were a badass. It was like Nazis and like the rebel flag.
You're talking about like bikers. Bikers were into that.
No.
Not just kidding. No. Are you kidding me? Shut
the
up. The
boys were obsessed. Not that they're Nazis, but they obsessed with Nazis, with reading about Nazi atrocities. There are 1,000 just every day you can turn on the History Channel. Those boys are now elder Gen X, which still is a Nazi loop. Not that they are Nazis, but most men are obsessed with World War II.
That is true. That is fair. There is a World War
Not
II
World
obsession.
War One,
No.
not the Spanish-American War, not
not
the
as much.
American Revolution, but the whole, not the Nazis, not with the Japanese,
Right. Not the war in the Pacific.
not with Russia, with the Third Reich and the whole idea of the Third Reich and whole time life series of atrocities. So clearly, this is one of these people who wrote this.
You know what it is? It's basically, in my lifetime, that you could look back at World War II, especially dealing with the Nazis, and be like,
Right.
Here is the battle for good versus evil. Right? Where you can't look at the Nazis and be like, well, I kind of sympathize, unless you're freaking a Nazi yourself, essentially. They're evil, and we're the good guys, right? It gets fishy when you start looking at, like, the Korean War or Vietnam
World
War.
War One.
Right. Well, no one goes back that far. No one cares about
No. I taught history, and we went over World War One, and I cannot tell you on the final exam how many people discussed the Nazis. I'm like, did I ever say the word Nazi in relation to World War One?
Right.
We've just spent 2 weeks discussing. Yeah.
Right, because World War One was much more like a typical war where it's sticky, where it's not like, here are the bad guys. It was like, frankly, and not to get into a history lesson, we really shouldn't have gotten involved in World War One. It was Woodrow Wilson said famously, it's the war to end all wars. If we get involved in World War One, we can just flip a coin, pick a side, and then we'll be done with it, and then war will be over. And we'll never have to deal with it.
Assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand.
Right. 100%. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. But that's kind of the thing. So, like, in media, if they wanted to have a villain, it was very easy. The villains are Nazis in this one. Raiders of the Lost Ark.
They were always German. Look at Raiders of the Lost Ark. Look at everything. It's always
Die Hard.
The Nazis.
Die Hard. They're German. They're not Nazis, but they're German.
I've never seen that.
You have seen Die Hard. I watched it with you. God damn it, Aaron.
Blacked it out.
No, but that's it's like you would, like, in the 80s even, you would have German terrorists. Just kind of a layout, like in movies. I'm not talking about real life. In movies, you'd have German terrorists just because it's like, well, why not? You know,
why not?
Nazis are still
bad.
You
had the boys from Brazil, so you were still hunting Nazis.
100%.
They were still, like, hiding in South America.
Yes.
Buenos Aires is where Hitler really is. He's on an island with Jim Morrison and Elvis.
Well, and
still hanging out there today.
And I mean that's the thing. As time proceeded, you could always just throw the Nazis in there if you needed a villain, right? And no one would raise their hand and be offended. Like in the 80s, you would have movies where you'd have Arab terrorists, right? Well, like Delta Force or something with Chuck Norris, where you're fighting Arab terrorists.
They're never as good, though.
They're not particularly good, but at a certain point, certain groups, rightfully so, said, "Hey, do you always have to have Arab terrorists? Can it be somebody else?" They're like, "Okay, fair enough. Let's just go back to the Germans. Germans aren't going to complain."
They go to South African for a couple of times.
They did.
And then we're back to the Germans.
And then we're back to 100%. 100%. So... And that's the thing. Nobody complained. Now, I think if you did it now, you'd have people going like, well, hang on. How come the Nazis, you keep picking on these Nazis, right?
Well, the right wing is rising back up, as we already know.
I know.
Not just America.
It's a sad, sad situation. What I was going to say is, I did not see this movie in the theater. I had never heard of it. I bought a few books on zombie movies because I'm kind of
not the Holocaust.
Not the Holocaust. I bought a couple books on zombie movies. It's just like, and I was just kind of flipped like a zombie encyclopedia. And one of the movies was called Blood Creek, and I'm like, "What's this?"
It looks like it's taken from a graphic novel.
It's, but then I'm like, I recognize these actors. This came out in 2009. Within my lifetime, not just a few years ago, as far as I was concerned at the time. And it's got Michael Fassbender, who I enjoy. It's got Henry Cavill, who's okay. And it's got some other, like, no offense, Henry Cavill, if you're listening. But it's got actors. It's got actors I recognize. It's got a director I recognize. And this is like, again, this is not Full Moon Entertainment,
It is not.
This is
That's the most horrific thing. Then it might have been more fun.
That's right. But it's like, this is like a real movie. And I'm like, well, now I have to see it. Now I have to see it.
It's like a real movie, but not real.
not 100% a real
It shares
movie.
similarities.
Sweet
Is Michael
Jesus.
Fassbender actually German, or does he always get to play a German?
We talked about this. Michael Fassbender is German-Irish. I believe his father's German from Germany, and his mom is Irish from Ireland. And I think he was raised in Ireland, but he speaks perfect German. So you often see him, like he was in, first time I saw Michael Fassbender was in Inglourious Bastards, where he plays the British agent, whatever he is, soldier, who also speaks German like one of the Katzenjammer kids, as he says in it. But I remember I was watching 300. Did you ever see 300? The about the Spartans or whatever, with
that
Gerard
doesn't seem
Butler.
likely. No,
He's in that. He's in that as one of the Spartans. But it's one of those kind of, if you didn't know him, he'd just be some dude in the cast, right? So he's in that as well. Anyway, yes, he speaks German, but he's happy. They made, like, he was in the X-Men, the new class, playing Magneto, who is from Germany. So there are long scenes where he's just speaking German. Boom.
No, I like him in the X-Men. That's one of the few times that I actually wanted to see a superhero movie. I did like the X-Men reboot from 20 years ago.
From 20 years ago, sweet Jesus. So to reestablish, neither one of us had seen this walking in the door. This is all brand new.
I was like, Dawson's Creek, Dawson's Blood Creek. Now that would have been a film.
What's called Dawson's Blood Creek? Well, I was looking.
What if Dawson had an old Nazi in his root cellar?
100%. I could have rented this for $3.99 or purchased it for $4.99 on Amazon Prime. So of course I now own Blood Creek, but I'm not sure when I'm going to be dusting off the the video once again, if I'm being honest.
Aye.
Sweet Jesus. Okay, well, why don't we jump right into the highlights, Aaron? You have a few notes. Why don't you start?
Oh my God. I don't understand. So you see Henry Cavill's at home with his abusive father who blames him because his brother's returned from, I don't know, Fallujah or something and has disappeared during a trip into the woods.
Yes.
Blames him. 2 years have gone by. I'd leave that old son of a bitch at home. And yet the whole community thinks he's a wonderful guy. That's all. Maybe Henry Cavill is the problem, considering the whole town seems to love the dad. Maybe there's more to the story.
Well, okay. Number one, 5 minutes into this movie, you see Henry Cavill, who is relatively an unknown in this. I think he was in a few things that people may have recognized him from. But he's not as jacked as you're expecting. If you've seen him lately, he's been jacked since they cast him as Superman. Like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Which I never saw. So this may be the first Henry Cavill situation I've ever seen.
Well, he's jacked. Like, you see him in things where he's not playing Superman. He was in the remake of The Man from U.N.C.L.E. And where he was
never gonna see that trash.
That did not do well. Let's just say that. But still jacked. Where it's like he's wearing like a suit.
First of all, who's going to see The Man from U.N.C.L.E.? You would have to be like our parents' age to even remember that TV show.
Correct.
I'm not sure. I mean, I've heard, I kind of remember who was in it, not because I saw it, but that's from 1,000 years ago.
Well, you know what it is. It's like there are shows that are
like
recycled.
Mission Impossible.
Well, there were shows that were recycled in perpetuity, not just through like remakes in movies, but just reruns. Kiddies, there was a time where there was such a thing called reruns, where you'd watch, flip through the channels.
Not just what's happening.
Not just what's happening, but you'd be like watching a show where it's like, here's a show that was canceled 20 years ago. I'm still watching Gilligan's Island in black and white, right? Because it's just on. Because they're like, we don't have enough time to create content for all these things, so we're going to rehash Brady Bunch. Brady Bunch, I don't think was even on when I was in my lifetime, but the reruns were.
I
Right?
feel like even I watch the reruns. I'm not even sure.
You know,
Like,
I Love
they
Lucy.
were on.
I Love
Yeah.
Lucy reruns in perpetuity. Certain shows were just carried on decade after decade in reruns. Other shows just disappeared. Like,
But
boom.
let's be clear. There
Please.
was a time when there were 12 channels or less,
Or
depending
less.
on where you lived.
Right.
So there was no on demand. You didn't rent anything. There was no way to record anything.
Right.
So that's why we're familiar with old shitty shows from like the 50s and 60s.
Yes.
Because you watched it because it was on,
Because
not
it was
because
on.
you had a choice.
Well, I remember getting up, getting ready for school, and you'd watch Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? Would be on in the morning as you're getting ready for school. Now,
What about Captain Kangaroo?
I recently learned that Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? The original show, they literally was on TV for 2 years, like 69, 70.
What?
Okay. And they
How could that
made
be?
like 30 episodes or something. And then they just recycled it. Now, later they did other
What?
versions of Scooby-Doo, but it wasn't
Yeah,
called Scooby-Doo, Where
in
Are
the
You?
90s, they rebooted it. And the tagline was, "This time the ghosts are real."
Well,
Zombie Island. Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island. That
In the
was
mid-
the huge monster.
in the mid-70s, they did the Scooby movies with a different theme song. We got it all together for a brand new show. That was a different, but they would kind of put it all together and be like, F it, it's all Scooby. Like in the reruns, they'd just swirl it
Right.
together. And then like in the 80s, it was Scooby-Doo and Scrappy 2. They did that one.
Oh, there was
So-
Scrappy Doo, which was terrible. It's always terrible when your show suddenly there has to be a baby, or the
Cousin
Gilmore
Oliver.
Girls. They got a dog named Paul Anka, and I was like, "What is this?"
Paul
shit?
Anka.
That yes,
Put your
they
head
had a
on my
dog they
shoulders.
named Paul Anka, and that's when you knew that they were on the downslide.
You're on the
Cousin
downside.
Oliver. Suddenly, we need a new cast member to jump ratings.
100%.
And not only was there Scrappy Poo, there was Grandpa Doo. Do you remember that?
There was Scooby Dum at one point. and there
Scooby
was
Dum.
And there was Scooby D,
This is
which was
wrong.
the girl who was on like one episode or something. There was a whole
Oh, Jesus.
sweet Jesus.
Jesus.
Anyway,
help us.
I don't even know how we got down this rabbit hole. But what I'm trying to tell you is there used to be reruns. Anyway, Henry Cavill. Oh, that's how. Henry Cavill to the Man from U.N.C.L.E. to reruns. My point being is that the Man from U.N.C.L.E. was never in reruns. So you're right. You'd had to have been around in the 60s watching one of the. It's a James Bond ripoff, is what it was. Anyway,
Yeah.
neither
The
here nor there.
Saint.
Yes.
Man from Uncle.
Yes.
Well, it could be a Mission Impossible.
Mission
ripoff.
Impossible was around for a long time, though. Mission Impossible was
Yes.
probably on the air for 10 years,
Yeah.
right? It introduced the world to Peter Graves. And Leonard Nimoy
Which
was
is the
on
one
Man
with
from
Bill Cosby.
U.N.C.L.E. That was I Spy with Bill Cosby and Robert Culp. And I only knew Robert Culp because he was on Greatest American Hero. So there you go.
Look at what's happened to me.
Anyway,
They used to
what
have
are we
great
talking
theme
about?
songs,
Blood Creek. Blood Creek. Sweet Jesus.
which does not have a great theme song.
No, it does not. So Henry Cavill is an EMT. Like you said, he went hunting with his brother 2 years ago. His brother disappeared in the swamps, which sounds like a bad thing. And his brother reappears now, looking like Williams said he looked like Robin Williams in Jumanji with a long, crazy hair.
Yeah,
And that's true.
So shitty.
He absolutely
Yes.
did. And he goes, no questions. I was abducted for 2 years. Get the guns. We're going back to the farmhouse to get revenge on whoever the captors were. Now,
And quite frankly, once you see where he was being held, this is so implausible that he could possibly be alive.
yes, well, there's a lot going on here. There was I don't know if it was a pre-credit sequence or something earlier in the movie. They established in 1939 there was a youngish German family in West Virginia who get a letter from their Nazi overlords saying, hey, we're sending a Nazi scientist or some shit to you. Give him a room and let him do his twisted experiments in the barn. And they're like, cool. Thanks for letting us know. And then now, smash cut, 2009. So we've met this family. We know there's some Nazi shit going down. Michael Fassbender shows up like with lightning striking behind him, wearing like a leather trench and a fedora, which is that's
one
like
did.
As one did. That means he's Gestapo or something, right? That means he's the dude from Raiders of the Lost Ark. Because that's how they roll.
Deep state Gestapo.
That's how they do. So now it's modern times. There was a line that Henry Cavill is, as they're like, canoeing down the creek to get to the farm or whatever. He's like,
was that Blood Creek they're canoeing down?
Could be. They're like, we searched every mile of this swamp. He's like, well, you must have missed a mile then, because I was there. You son of a bitch. So they find the farmhouse, and now it's kind of revealed like, okay, so the people haven't really aged. This is a bone of contention, which doesn't make any sense. The family itself, I think the young girl who was like 11 in 1939 is now like 17 or something, however old she's supposed to be. But everybody else looks exactly the same, which I guess that's a pretty good deal, because the other dude, the evil Nazi, who also is still alive, is a horrible freak, right? So evidently immortality not working quite as well for him, if I had to guess. Right?
What I'm saying is it a good deal? Are they able to leave the farm?
Okay, this is the thing that gets confusing. Okay?
Yes.
Because
are they able to leave the farm?
Essentially, yes, they can leave. They can leave.
Then why don't they leave and leave them there to starve to death?
Because they feel they have a responsibility to basically keep feeding Nazi Joe in the cellar. They keep
Let
feeding
him starve to death.
No,
He's
won't.
a monster.
They're saying he will escape and then attack the countryside. Is basically
no. They have the salt. They have all the curse. You notice that they have the salt that goes around, which I don't know what happens when it rains and snows, but you'll notice there's a circle of protection around the whole farm.
They have the runes everywhere. They have runes, like basically. Okay, oh god. Essentially, what the story is: the German family has not aged since the 30s. And every now and again, they grab some drifter or some shit, some swamp person, and put him in, kind of chain him up in one of those shipping containers. Yeah. And then from time to time, they go down, and the German father wears a crazy bone outfit because Michael Fassbender cannot attack you if you're wearing the bone outfit, essentially, because it's the bones of his relatives or some shit.
And yet, he attacks somebody wearing the bone outfit.
That happens later with no explanation. So I don't know how often. Once a day.
They set up these rules that they break 5 minutes later.
100%. So they bring him out of the cellar looking like a damn mummy, his face all wrapped up in shit. But he's still wearing
his scabby and pussy, no explanation. It looks like his face caught on fire.
Right.
And it's all wrapped up like the Invisible Man, and it's all black and charred. No explanation.
No explanation. And then they lead him to the shipping container where they take a special bone knife and they kind of like slash the back of the drifter. And then he kind of sucks the blood out of their back. And then they lead him back to his cage.
Homoerotic vampirism.
So, but that's
he shows up that drinking blood.
Correct. He's already Michael. This is Michael Fassbender now, is the evil German scientist. Evidently, because they've got this rune in the basement of the barn. Okay, he's able to use that to do like an immortality thing. Okay, but he's got to drink a little blood to get it done, and then somehow he bestows immortality on the rest of the family, but they don't look like monsters. They look fine. Only he's the hideous freak, and there's no explanation why. I mean, just because he drinks the blood, I guess. That turns, I don't know. That doesn't make any goddamn sense. So
It doesn't make any sense why they sent him there to become immortal.
like, what's the plan? I think
that going to help Hitler?
I think they talked briefly that this was going to create an army of immortal beings that can take over the world. I think that's what it is. Okay.
And let's be clear, they're not immortal. They just don't. They stop aging. They're all dead at the end.
Well, yeah, they're not invincible. They're not invincible, right? Because when they
it's not death becomes her.
Correct.
They die when you chop up their head.
Well, but that's the thing. It's like basically when the two brothers arrive, guns a-blazing, they shoot the older brother, and he goes down pretty easy, right? Put a bullet in his head, and he's dead meat. So they're not. You could very easily kill them, but the evil Michael Fassbender, they shoot him a few. Now it seems like they're lousy shots because they're shooting at him, and like bullets are ricocheting over here. Weren't you in Fallujah? Bro, didn't they give you some weapons training? You have a shotgun. But they do hit him a couple times. Right. So, but then...
I was a barber in Fallujah.
It's kind of revealed that the family's not evil. They're basically just from their perspective, they're like kind of doing what they have to do to keep the monster at bay, essentially.
I say they're evil. They're evil. Allowing evil to exist is evil.
But it's like Michael Fassbender is kind of invincible. And he has kind of special powers where if there's something dead, he can kind of whisper some shit in its ear, and the thing wakes up as kind of an evil version. Kind of, I don't know if it's like a zombie or it's kind of under his power or what the story is. It's kind of fishy as to what's going down. Because
I feel like they should have blown up the runestone within 5 minutes of realizing he was feeding on their daughter.
Yeah, you think?
Because his powers were weak then. He could like whisper into a dove and it was alive for 5 minutes.
I think it was still alive. I know you think it just kind of blinked and then rolled over. I think it was now an alive bird, but maybe I'm wrong. Unclear.
So maybe that was it. We're going to have an army of zombie Nazis.
I think that was the idea. They're kind of fishy and a little squishy about what the details were.
Yeah, because if he needs the runestone, it serves no purpose since it's in West Virginia and not in Berlin. And the whole fishy story about, well, then the war started, so nobody could go to Europe. I'm like, that's not real.
People went, well, he couldn't.
People still are going back and forth.
Yes, but in 1935, you could just catch a freighter or whatever, no questions asked. During wartime, you can't just be like, hey, can I catch a boat to Berlin? I'm a Nazi.
He's
Is that
immortal.
cool?
No, but you would go via another country.
So what? He would travel down to Argentina or something and catch the boat?
No, I mean, it didn't go from... It's 1935 to full war, It was step by step.
So you're saying he had time before the U.S. entered the war? Is that what you're saying? 6 years?
He had a lot of time. He had 10 years. Well, not 10 years. He had like 7 years. How long is he sitting there making doves come to life? What exactly is going on?
Cry.
And where are the rest of the Nazis and their runestones? They must have gotten home. I feel like that would have been on the news.
That's the thing. So at the end of the movie, because the German family's like, come on. Okay, so they accidentally freed the evil Michael Fassbender, and the German father's like, come, your bullets won't hurt him. Get in the house, because they put like rune symbols over all the windows and doors, and they say he can't leave, can't come through the door. And he can't leave the barn or the corral or whatever because we put rune stones all around. But what he can do is when he animates the horse or whatever, or animates Billy Bob, the brother, whose corpse is still out in the field, they can ignore the runes, which is kind of strange. But
why can't they make new runes? And why has this never come up before?
What do you mean?
Well, this would seem to be a surprise to all of them. So I guess that they've been good. This is the first time they've defied him.
Yes. Well, and they weren't the ones. It was the brothers who came in and started
Yeah.
effing stuff up. Like
The
they
zombie
shot.
horses were good.
Right. Well, they find, we haven't talked about this. They find Shea Wiggum, who's an actor we've seen in a million things. He's chained up he's the current drifter that's chained up in the shipping container. And they free him. And they bring him into the house. They're all like hiding from evil Michael Fassbender. Michael Fassbender kills a horse, and the demon horse smashes through the window and bites Shea Wiggum and drags him out of the window. Boom.
That was great. That was the best part of the whole movie.
That was good stuff. So he survives.
Quite surprised.
There are those moments. So again, Michael Fassbender whispers in the ear of the dead brother. He pops up, goes through the front door. And this is the thing that made absolutely no sense. The German father was like, "Oh, my son, I thought you were dead." Even though he's coming up with like the white milky eyes and just kind of staggering.
Give me a hug, son. Ridiculous.
That was ridiculous. You lived here for the last 70 years. You know how they roll. Okay, this is not a surprise that your now possessed demonic son is coming to get you.
Yeah.
So, but that's the thing. Every time somebody has died, Fassbender does a little whisper, and then now the person's coming back, like straight up malevolent, trying to get at you. So
yeah,
and the ship goes down. This movie is crazy. This movie's ridiculous.
But again, no one's moving outside of the salt ring. I feel like you just step over there.
You can't. Well, and that's the thing. It's just that Michael Fassbender
just like bring her back. Just step over the line. Say, "Hey, mother effer, what you gonna do now, big boy?"
What you?
Pop.
So they've come up with some dim-witted plan where it's just like he can't drink dead blood, only the blood of the living. The blood is what keeps. He's like a vampire kind of situation.
I love that the daughter just kept stealing his books and he just didn't care. I mean, it's been 10 years. He doesn't notice that half his books are gone. He's like, nah.
Well, he's been living. Why is he cool living in the basement of the barn? Why is he cool with that?
That makes no sense. I'd be like, I'm in charge here. I'm sleeping in the master bedroom. Y'all can sleep in the barn. Yeah.
I mean, again, and why did he bring an old bone outfit? It's my only weakness. I will wear this bone outfit for me. What? None of that made any goddamn
sense. The bones
sense.
Of my ancestors. I think it would have been much cooler if he was like, hey, like he had full conversations, but he didn't. He spoke at the beginning, and by the end, he's just a ghoul.
Well, he does start to talk more later because he does this weird transformation because the Fassbender reveals that he freed the older brother as kind of a fishing expedition because he knew the brother would be like, "I'm pissed off. Let's get some guns, come in here and kill the German family, essentially.
Right.
Basically kill his jailers so that he's free to now go out into the world, essentially. That's the idea. This was all like a plan that they had. So he kind of talks later because, again, he comes out. First, he's kind of black and covered it, and then he pulls it off, and you see his kind of withered face. And then later he peels off the withered face, and now he's like Voldemort or something. It was like
it made no fucking sense.
Yeah, it's nonsense. So
you're like, man, you're amazing, dude. This is a great trade with the devil. You get to live in a barn forever. Yeah, awesome.
This is your plan.
Drifters. That sounds again, great. You sided with the right people.
Exactly.
But I want to live like this for millenniums.
The reveal is that there are like 9 other rune stones all over the country. Presumably,
and why aren't they writing to each other? You figure these effers would be all incommunicado. Hey, what's going on? What's working? You know,
what's working? What's
what's not? You got troublesome Amish people sassing you back. Do you have to live in the basement too? Or
that ain't cool. That ain't cool. But that's how. So it's almost like the hanging plot thread is Henry Cavill's like got a map. and he's like circling. He's like, okay, so here, and of course,
Because what you gonna do, Henry Cavill? You barely survived this.
he barely survived under very specific circumstances. They had to take an old bone, grind it up, mix it into his blood in his back where the woman stabbed him, sprinkle it in there so Michael Fassbender could come in, drink the blood with the big chunks in it for something he wouldn't notice, right? And he goes, "Ooh,
Right.
I'm feeling sick. This isn't too good." How are you going to recreate that scenario? This makes absolutely.
Does everybody have a bone suit for the Bone Daddy?
with the bone collector.
The Bone Collector.
Any other things you want to talk about with Blood Creek, Aaron?
No.
Take your time. That was it? We're good?
No. Oh my
Well, why don't we go
God.
behind the scenes, shall we?
I'm trying to look. Basically, the zombie horse. That was the best part. And then there was like, he's hangry. That's the problem. Really, Michael Fassbender. He's angry and because he's hungry.
Well, they talked
They're
about
holding
that.
out.
Basically, like, we have to, he'll be angry. He'll start asking questions if we don't hurry up and feed him, kind of things.
Like what questions? See, I would have liked that where he just appears, he walks up, sets a chair down backwards, and says, "Hey, folks, let me tell you what's happening now."
100%.
I think that would have been an improvement because that would have been more scary than just the faceless thing.
Behind the
So
scenes.
to circle back, zombie horse is good, rest of the movie bad.
Not too good. Henry Cavill replaced Jesse Metcalfe. You might remember Jesse Metcalfe from Desperate Housewives. He was the young, handsome guy from that show.
Didn't see that.
That's about it. Michael Fassbender was excited to work with Joel Schumacher, who he cites as one of his favorite directors, which is shocking that anybody would say Joel Schumacher. Now, make no mistake, I enjoyed St. Elmo's Fire. That's something.
That movie was trash. Get the hell. Let's be straight. All those movies from the 80s were garbage.
First of all, I'm outraged and offended. I love it. 80s movies are my favorite movies. So how about that? How about that?
The Brat Pack was super annoying.
Disagree.
And what's his name with his documentary about how it ruined his life? No, your poor acting ability ruined your life.
Andrew McCarthy.
Oh my God. Andrew McCarthy was the worst. He was the worst. There's a reason why other people went on and other people did not.
Fair.
Likability and ability. He had neither.
This production.
James Spader, still kicking it, right?
He had a few lean years there too, Aaron. Let's not forget.
Still working though. And it's not on the Pity Me tour.
Fair. This production was filmed on location in Romania.
Full Moon, on the Full Moon video set. All their movies were in Romania.
I like
It's on my list of places to go. I got to go see Castle Dracula.
Please, 100%. At one point, Chris Klein from American Pie was rumored to star. Interesting. These are important tidbits here.
I don't know if that makes it better or worse. I mean, it still is the same story. It doesn't matter who's in it.
100%. The film had a limited theatrical release on September
I bet
18th,
it did.
2009. Yep. Wah, wah. That's it. I mean, it's just kind of nonsense. Michael Fassbender and Lynn Collins, who plays the wife, were both born in 1977. How about that?
Well, that is fascinating. I'm going to write that down so I can remember that.
That's important. Let's talk about the cast and crew. Not a lot of interesting facts here, I'm sad to say. Okay. Directed by Joel Schumacher. This is kind of a fallow period for old Joe.
Oh, really?
You know him for 2004's Phantom of the Opera, starring Patrick Wilson and Gerard Butler.
Wilson, what, the Phantom?
No, Gerard Butler was the Phantom, and Patrick Wilson was what's his name, Eduardo or what?
So they have the most attractive person as the Phantom.
Well, he had a mask on. It's acting. Acting, damn it.
Acting. Well, act ugly. How about that? Let's
That's
see you
it.
do that.
He directed Batman and Robin, which is the worst of the Batman movies from the 90s. Like,
Didn't even see
unwatchable.
it.
Unwatchable.
Didn't even see it. I used to love Batman, and they'd ruin it, and I would come back, and they'd ruin it again until finally I'm like,
That was the one with George Clooney, and Clooney jokes that he effectively killed the franchise.
yes, you did, George. I'm glad you're
He
self-aware.
directed the Nicolas Cage movie 8mm, which is a very upsetting movie about
Did not
snuff
see.
films. So
Yeah,
that's always
good old
great.
snuff film.
He directed Phone Booth in 2002. That's with
Unfamiliar.
Colin Farrell, and Kiefer Sutherland is a voice. How about that?
I do like Colin Farrell, but unfamiliar.
Let's look at the cast. Henry Cavill played Evan Marshall. You know him from such things as Man of Steel in 2013. 4 years after this movie, he did Man of Steel.
I gotta tell you, Superman is literally the worst superhero.
I don't agree with that. It's hard to do Superman because you've basically made somebody totally like invincible. So it's hard to have drama when your main character is invincible.
And uninteresting.
He was in Batman.
What do you
Superman,
mean? You're
Dawn of
basically
Justice.
describing Michael Myers, and you love that.
It's different though. If you're a villain and you have an
It's okay to be invincible.
No, because then you're like, oh my God, how are we going to defeat this villain? If you're the hero, then we know you're going to figure it out, right?
Can't you just fill a shotgun with bits of kryptonite and blast him at the end?
You can, but it's very rare. It's very rare.
He's just uninteresting. He
was in Justice League in 2017, and he was in Mission Impossible Fallout in 2018. Dominic Purcell, who we have not mentioned, played the older brother Victor. You know him from such things as Blade Trinity, the third and arguably crappiest of the Blade movies. He was in the remake of Killer Elite with Jason Statham and Clive Owen.
I love that it's a remake. I never heard of the original or the remake.
The original Killer Elite was Robert Duvall and James Caan from the 70s. How about that?
Yeah, unfamiliar. I do like Jason Statham, though.
He was in something called Assault on Wall Street, which I'm unfamiliar with.
Also unfamiliar. Was that filmed in Romania, too?
Probably. And he was in something called Equilibrium from 2002. How about that?
Okay.
I remember him because he was in 97 episodes of DC's Legends of Tomorrow on the CW. That was a comic book show. How about that?
I think this was a comic book show. This would have been a much better graphic novel than a theatrical release.
He was also on, I think it was Fox's Prison Break for years and years. I don't know how many times you can break out of prison. Eventually, you're just free.
Keep trying.
Just keep trying.
Well, once Trump opens up San Quentin again, he can try there too.
Absolutely. Michael Fassbender played Richard Worth, or Richard Worth, if you want to read it phonetically. The evil Nazi. You know him from such things as Shame in 2011.
Shame.
He was in Prometheus in 2012. He's actually really good in those alien movies.
Yes. He's an excellent actor. It's just
really
that this is nothing for him.
He was in X-Men The First Class as Eric Lenscher Magneto.
Absolutely.
And in 2015, he was Steve Jobs in the movie Steve Jobs.
Yeah.
Good. I actually never saw that one. I'm going to add to the list.
I feel like I saw it, but who knows?
Shea Wiggum played Luke, the drifter that they captured.
What a name, too.
You know him from such things as Take Shelter in 2011.
How is that his top thing? How is that his top thing?
Risk Cutters, A Love Story, 2006. You know it, don't you? He was in the Liam Neeson vehicle Nonstop in 2014.
Never heard of it.
And he was in American Hustle in 2013.
I've heard of it, never saw it. So it's almost as what you were describing is I've never seen this person in my life, but that is not true.
He was in the last 2 Mission Impossible movies. How about that? That's something.
Wasn't he in Deadwood?
I don't know. Let's take a look here. See what comes up.
Let's take a look, because you're describing a stranger to me. Then
he was in F1, the movie. How about that?
Well,
2 episodes of Righteous Gemstones.
About car racing. Get out of here.
I don't know. I mean, he works nonstop. He was in The Gray Man. How about that? Did you see that?
Oh my God, maybe he is a stranger. I don't even know who he is.
F9, The Fast Saga. He's in all the Fast and Furious movies, or most of them.
No, never.
He was in Vice. I don't know. He's in things. Narcos, 2 episodes. How about that?
Well, clearly I've misspelled his name so badly that I did see Narcos. Pedro Pascal is in that.
He is.
At
Kong,
some
Skull
point,
Island.
I was watching it and I realized they were only speaking in Spanish and no longer were putting up subtitles.
How
I'm
was
like,
your
I think I
Spanish?
should watch the last 2 episodes entirely in Spanish.
Okay, why don't we look at the ratings, Aaron, before we run out of our minds here?
Right.
I had an issue with this on Rotten Tomatoes because there's another movie in 2006 called Blood Creek that kept popping up, and I'm like, this is not right. I had a hard time finding it. For some reason, on Rotten Tomatoes, it is listed as something called Town Creek, which is not correct. I don't know why it's called Town Creek.
Doesn't even fucking make sense.
Like, no, it's
Not
like
City
literally.
Creek.
They have the poster for the real Blood Creek on the wrong movie. So clearly
weird.
no one gives two good goddamn about it. There are
That's because
5
no one-
there are 5
Go ahead.
critics, but no top critics. So I'm just gonna pick a couple rando non-top critics. Are you ready?
All right.
Brian Holcomb of Cinema Blend says Blood Creek is a whole hell of a lot better than any movie called Blood Creek has a right to be. 2.5 out of 5. How about that?
It's not even a fucking review.
Not a review. Scott Weinberg of FearNet says the best satanic Nazi vampire zombie master flick that Schumacher's ever made. 3 out of 5.
That's ridiculous.
That is ridiculous. Let's talk to our in-house movie critic, AI Rex Reed, and see what he has to say.
Let's go.
Blood Creek is a grim, mud-soaked Nazi occult romp where even Michael Fassbender can't class up a plot that plays like Raiders of the Lost Ark, rewritten by a sleep-deprived taxidermist.
What the does that mean?
That seems like just nonsense.
What does that mean?
I think AI Rex Reed's got off the rails.
I know we're going back to Shea Wiggum because I confused him with somebody else. Shea Wiggum, which I recently rewatched,
Yes.
Boardwalk Empire,
Okay.
plays a major role in that. And you are forgetting his most triumphant role in, I'm stalling, True Detective. He was recently in Perry Mason. I mean,
You ain't watching Perry Mason. Shut your mouth.
I watched 1 episode of it, but other people have told me it's really good. I didn't like it. But Boardwalk Empire, as Buscemi's brother, he was triumphant.
He's been in a ton of stuff. He literally, he does like 5 things a year. He's never the star, but he always adds a little flavor to whatever he's in. And
But he was like, I don't know. He was up there in Boardwalk Empire. He's American Primeval, but I don't know what that is.
That's a question.
That's current.
So, Aaron, what is your rating for Blood Creek?
My rating for Blood Creek is 2.75. Why did you make me watch this bullshit? I will now erase it from my memory. And when you ask me in 2 weeks about Blood Creek, I'm like, oh, put it on our list. I haven't seen that yet. That's what's going to happen.
Fair.
Along with the 2 other movies you forced me to watch this weekend.
Fair. Which we will be discussing on the show. No, but I'm giving Blood Creek a 2 out of 5. How about that? Yeah. Boom.
You're lower than me.
Lower than you. It's not that it's horrible. it's not horrible. It's just kind of forgettable and worthless. It's
Yeah.
kind of the attitude.
That's the word. That's. I mean, offensive is an emotion. You know what I mean?
Right.
At least it would instill an emotion.
Yeah.
It's just forgettable. It should have been a graphic novel, and it would have been hugely successful. The end.
Well, you tell me there's like Nazi vampire stuff going down, Nazi zombie stuff going down. I'm in, but this was just kind of like, whatever. And you kind of
Not
said
enough Nazis, not enough zombies, not enough sense. 20 minutes of Henry Cavill getting bitten by a dog and giving himself a rabies shot. What the fuck is that? Why would he bring a rabies shot with him?
Correct.
That's not normal.
He's an EMT, so he brought like a first aid kit. But are rabies shots just standard in the first aid kit?
I feel no. Bandages, maybe some adrenaline, an EpiPen. I mean, what the hell? No.
That was so bizarre. And it took like 10 minutes because, again, it was the dog guarding the German farm when they first
And why
arrived.
didn't they have the German Shepherd become a zombie?
He did. He kind of whispered in his ear. I don't think it did anything, though. It just kind of ran around and barked at people. So it's a lot like my dog.
It turned it into a chihuahua.
Yeah, pretty much. Sweet Jesus. Yeah, it's basically forgettable. There's a reason why no one's heard of this movie, despite the fact that we've heard of some of the actors that are in it. So
yeah,
'tis what it is.
Terrible.
Any last thoughts before we move on with our lives, Aaron?
I've already forgotten it. What are we watching this week? I'm erasing it. It's like zzz, zzz, zzz. Each one is being erased right now.
So thank you very much. You can go find us all across social media. We're on Threads, we're on Blue Sky, we're on Instagram, we're on TikTok. You could be watching us on YouTube as well if you want to see our smiling faces.
Whee! Here, I'll smile now.
Yeah, you can also email us, the podcast that wouldn't die, at
Gmail.
We are on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere the finer podcasts are available. So don't forget to like, share, rate, and review. Won't you?
Won't you please?
Aaron, what is your social media situation?
I got much media. I'm on the gram, the Cult of Aaron. Join the cult. I also have my Polaroid art on Artsy First Dibs, Aaron Doherty, Instant Dreams Gallery.
Boom shakalaka. Check it out. Check it out.
And now my Polaroid, not that I took, I have a RIP. Oh my God, I'm having a senior moment. Udo Kier. So now my Stephanie Schneider Udo Kier photograph, I'm sure, is skyrocketing. I'll be able to retire soon.
R.I.P. Udo Kier. As you know, we like to include our friends and family's thoughts and feelings about what we're doing on the podcast. So, Aaron, what are the streets saying?
On the gram, Fanny Farmer wrote to me and wants to know, he said, Aaron, why are you letting Kevin steer this ship with all these shitty movies? And I can't disagree. So after we do these three, I will come up with 3 gems.
Good luck with that. Well, thank you, Fanny
After
Farmer.
I step over these 3 cow patties.
Unclear.
That we're about to review.
Next week, we're doing the Denzel Washington horror classic, Fallen, with John Goodman, James Gandolfini, Ada Turturro. Who else is in this thing? There's many other people.
I thought it was Aida.
Disagree.
There's an I in there.
It's Ada. It's not Aida. Aida's not a name. Are you making up shit now?
There's a whole opera called Aida.
Isn't that a Sarah McLachlan song? Aida.
In the eyes of Ada.
Anyway. Fallen. How can you watch Fallen? Tubi with ads for free. That's how we watch it.
Lots of random ads.
Lots of random ads. You can also rent it on Amazon, on YouTube, Apple TV, Fandango. $379, $399.
I recommend renting and not buying. Just a heads up.
Well, if you want to, you can buy it for $12.99. How about
Oh,
that?
Lord.
How about that?
That's a purchase you're going to regret.
So, send in your favorite scenes. Just send in what your thoughts and feelings about Fallen, and we may talk about it on the show. So, thank you very much, and be well.
Be well, children.